This is Dr. David D. Shine and our presentation that we call Saving America in our segment that we call Just the Facts. And this is an extremely disconcerting situation. It's one that's been in the news quite a bit. But Merrick Garland, who once was brought up as a potential Supreme Court candidate, I guess he wants to prove to everyone that he didn't ever deserve to be on the Supreme Court, and clearly a extremely poor selection for Attorney General. And I did not feel this way at the beginning of this year, but unfortunately, actions speak louder than resumes. And, he's out there prosecuting these terrible domestic terrorists, parents worried about their children in public schools. Folks, I wish this was a joke because it's so stupid, it's so outrageous, it's hard to believe it's happening in America. Parents are rightfully worried about extreme pornography and critical race theory, CRT, being stuck down the faces of our beautiful, wonderful children. And quoting the head of Parents Defending Education, PDE, his daughter is married to the co-founder, this is his daughter, Merrick Garland, to the co-founder of Panorama Ed, which is under fire for its multi-million-dollar contracts with school boards. Now Garland is trying to silence parents. So the background on this is there's a contract for Panorama Ed to conduct social and emotional learning, SEL, monitoring in Fairfax County public schools and resulting in data on those students. This sounds like a clip from the operation of Soviet Russia during its heyday in the 60s and 70s, making sure that all the little children are properly indoctrinated into basic Marxist principles. And of course, if they didn't, they'd be executed or something worse. So this is a very disturbing situation. And again, I am in favor of diversity, but I am not in favor of racial prejudice like this program talks about in terms of CRT. And certainly I am excited and supportive of parents who are concerned about the education their children are getting. By the way, speaking of Virginia, the Democrat candidate for governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, stuck his whole foot into his mouth when he said parents are not entitled to control what their children learn in Virginia schools. And I understand that Glenn Youngkin, the Republican candidate, is making incredible inroads in a state that's been a blue state over the last decade. And a lot of people are very hopeful that McAuliffe will not be given a second chance to ruin the state of Virginia. Remember, he is a former governor of Virginia, former head of the DNC, the dumb National Committee. So it's going to be kind of interesting, but we almost put in Terry McAuliffe for F grade of the week. However, he's doing such a good job helping the Republicans. I don't want to beat up on him too hard. I want to encourage him to keep saying stupid anti-American things. Keep after it, Terry. In the meantime, here's a little bit of backstory, some parts that you may not have heard. The Loudoun County prosecutor got elected by much money coming from George Soros, by the way, the anti-American billionaire, and is seeking jail time for the father who protested at a school board meeting because his 14-year-old daughter was raped by a boy wearing a skirt who went into the ladies' room and raped her. They then moved the boy to another school in Ashburn, Virginia, nearby, and he attacked and sexually molested a girl in that school. Folks, we can't make this stuff up. And I wish I didn't have to report it, but clearly there are multiple messages to this story. None of them are positive for the Democrats and the other morons running our school systems. We must have a safe place for our children to be educated, and allowing this type of ridiculous behavior to go on is bad enough. But then when the father of that child goes to a school board meeting and said, you are covering this up, and he's arrested, and the clown who will not jail true criminals says, oh, but we're going to jail this guy. This is too much. This is ridiculous. This must be stopped. And of course, they refer to this Loudoun County prosecutor, Buda Bujari, or however her stupid name is pronounced, was described in an explosive report by Daily Wire as a progressive. Remember, they're not progressive, they're regressives. And it is regressive to try and jail a father protecting his daughter and not jail two criminals who are absolutely committing crimes, and we need to protect the public from them. The only positive outcome so far is the Loudoun County superintendent apologizes, and the board member who was directly considered in the case has resigned. And I hope the rest of the school board will either grow up and adjust to pro-American principles or get out of the way and put people in there who will take care of our children and make sure that they focus on the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. And sadly, speaking as a college professor, not enough of our children are learning basic education as they come K through 12. And we have to fix it at the college level. And unfortunately, we can't fix everything for everybody. Time to get education back to the basics, get rid of this nonsense of pornography and CRT and so forth. But very interesting situation out there, folks. That is Just the Facts part of Saving America. Professor and Dr. David D. Shine, and so glad you joined us.